Welcome to my 7th video of a series of shooting rats with an air gun at a dairy in western Washington state. Even though this is the 7th video I've uploaded in this series, it is one of the first that I did shoot. And this video does include images of rats being shot and killed with an air gun. So if you are offended by these images, please leave now and find something else to watch. This is the gun that I use to shoot the rats. It's a Benjamin Marauder Woodswalker 22 caliber pistol carbine combo equipped with a Sony high definition camcorder that can see infrared light, an infrared flashlight, and a Vector Optics Viper Wolf laser sight, which I mounted after I first had been using a red dot sight. The laser sight the infrared laser sight is invisible to the rats. This is a similar sight to the one I was using before, the red dot sight, with the camcorder looking through the window screen. It would see the red dot, but because of the imperfect angle of the mount versus the sight of the camcorder versus the sight, you could get this inverted teardrop shape as an aiming point, which worked fine. If you learned how to, you would adjust it so that I would, in this case, I was using the very bottom of the teardrop shaped red dot to shoot. I assume some shimming would correct the shape of that on the screen, but it would be very difficult to do. One other issue is that at a wide angle you see a smaller dot, and as you zoom in the dot gets much larger. In this case it's about a medium zoom. This particular rat was shot squarely through the head and put on an impressive dance before he laid still. Even though it was well placed, this shot didn't immediately incapacitate this rat, and had follow-up shot was required. It's not a perfect outcome, but it's still quick. The rat dies within seconds, and I still think it's a better outcome than poison or traps. Once again, perfect headshot, and the rat will go into the same kicking mode as this one. Once again, good solid headshot, and a moment's pause, and then this nervous kicking and the tail motion begins. Very typical. Lasts about the same length of time for any given rat. Here's another perfect headshot. And yet you get the helicopter tail and the leg kicks and the running motions. I believe these are all nervous reactions of an unconscious animal. As you can see here, I'm zoomed out a ways, and the red dot aiming point is small. After I shoot, I zoom in and watch the change in the size of the aiming point. This picture shows rat population that I walked into when I first went to the dairy. This is one feeding lane, and if you took a careful count in what you can see here, you'd probably see 75 or 100 rats. I consider it a target-rich environment. the old tires you see are used as weights to hold down the plastic cover over the top of the feed bunks. When they're not being used, they're stacked to the side, make very good habitat for the rats. Once again, this guy from time of first impact until he's still is a matter of only a few seconds. And I think it's one of the most merciful and humane ways to get rid of the rat population without poisoning the predators that would feed on carcasses if they were killed with poison. This sequence is a good indication. This was shot before I came up with the mount for my flashlight, and in this video I'm hand holding the flashlight and the forearm of the rifle at the same time. Consequently, you see a lot of motion of the light moving around within the frame. It was a very significant addition to get the mount on the flashlight. This shot, the only target I had was the head. It was a perfect headshot. And yet, you're still going to see the nervous kicking, bouncing reaction of the rat. I don't believe this rat, at the time it made all those motions, was in the least bit aware. I think it was shot squarely through the brain. It's just a characteristic of the rats. And that lonely train. This debris is broken up concrete and beams from an old structure that was removed in the past. Great habitat for the rats. They're too curious for their own good, though. They keep wanting one more look. And this is about a 35-yard shot. This area that's all burrowed up and dug up out here along the edge of the field is also right along the edge of a paved county road, and there was so much burrowing and digging that the shoulder of the road was being compromised. I will have more videos in this series with the red dot sight, going back to the early days of my rat removal at the dairy in Western Washington. Lights out.